But then I guess.
Close that door.
Somewhat people can, somewhat devotees are coming.
Hare Krishna. If that door stays open, then people that are behind the door won't see the screen. If that door stays open,
Yeah, almost everyone is coming.
Very close. Everyone is
Two more people are with us.
close the door then. Because we started a little bit later, everyone's on time. Now there's Mridanga and, we could have kirtan, but I think because of time, I'm just going to offer pranam mantras and then we'll begin. I hope that's okay. Can you fix it? You want it? Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sundravati Paschatya Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasat Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare. So those of you that are over here, you can't see the screen, can you? We don't have a mirror. We could hold up a mirror and then you could see the screen. Huh? You say.
Smartphone, you go to Hare Krishna Temple of Austin. It's live stream, so you can see
The older generation folks may not know how to do that. The younger generation folks help the older generation folks so they can see. So I'm going to begin and you can see or not see, depending. The first evening I was here, we discussed, what was the topic? The best of Lord Ram's servants. We touched a little bit on Lakshmana, and then we spent much time on Hanuman. And I said, one can make a transcendental argument in favor of either. Hanuman is the best, Lakshmana is the best. You may have your favorite. Many people like Hanuman so much. But Lakshmana is pretty special also. I just gave almost a 2-hour class to the devotees in China because our evening is their Wednesday morning. And Wednesday is the appearance day. Wednesday is the appearance day of Ramanujacharya. And you know what the meaning of Ramanujacharya is? No, he's the Anuja. He's the follower of Rama. So Ramanuja happens to be a name of Lakshmana because he's an Anuja of Rama. Ramanuja. Lakshmana. He was named after Lakshmana because Lakshmana is such a follower. Well, Hanuman is also, but Lakshmana is also. There's a whole, anyway. A little bit what we saw the first evening that I was here, this is it again. There's two reference sources. One is Vishnu Damotara, the other is Padma Purana, and they have two different characterizations of who are the four members, the four brothers. Rama, according to Vishnu Damotara, is Vasudeva. Lakshmana is Sankarshana, Bharata, Pradyumna, Shatrugna, and Aniruddha. As you know, in the spiritual world, in Vaikuntha and in Goloka, in both Vaikuntha and Goloka, there's these four, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And you find the details, if you like, in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then in Vaikuntha, there's a second quadruple expansion. It's Prabhupada's language, quadruple expansion. So each of the four brothers are manifestations of these four, according to Vishnu Dharmottara. Padma Purana states it a little differently. Ramachandra is the incarnation of Narayana, and then Shesha is Lakshmana. Shesha, remember this? Shesha and Sheshi. Remember that? Oh boy, good. You have good memories. So in Chakra and Shankha, the benediction giving items in the Lord Vishnu's hand. Baladev Vidyabhusan has explained this is just two different days of Brahma, or Kalpa Beta. So we saw that already. That's why I'm going quickly. And here, Lakshmana comes from the word Lakshmi, which means wealth. So one who is rich with wealth in service to Rama. Lakshmana, he has the wealth of service to Ramachandra. So there's Lakshmana and Ramachandra. We heard this one already also, 18 cardinal teachings. One of those, it's number 6 in the list of Govinda Raja. So I'll go a little slower. Govinda Raja is the most celebrated Sri Vaishnava Acharya commenting on Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana in particular. And he's certainly knowledgeable in other Ramayanas, but he is very faithful to Valmiki Ramayana. And in his extensive commentary, he's given these 18 cardinal lessons or teachings. And Lakshmana represents one of them, Sheshatvam. To understand Ram, to understand anything, the mood of bhakti is needed to be intimate servant of someone or something, then you'll know about that someone or something. It's very similar to Uddhava. He was so intimately associated with Krishna that Krishna didn't say, I'm going to leave now, but he knew Krishna was going to leave. He didn't say anything, but he knew. And he fell at his feet in Dwarka and pleaded with him. Not, he didn't say, don't leave, just take me with you. I'm attached to you. Please don't leave me behind. Take me with you. So when you're intimately associated with someone, you know about that someone. I mean, the someone knows about that someone, but someone intimately associated with someone may even see things about that someone that they're not noticing. You know what I mean? Love is like that. Intimacy. So Lakshmana had that intimacy. Bharata had a different mood. Anyway, rather than cover what Bharata was, we're discussing Lakshmana. Lakshmana implored Ram, take him to the forest. Please make me your servant. There's nothing inappropriate in this. My purposes will be fulfilled and your needs can be taken care of. So this is this Shesha feature. Sheshatvam, the quality of being a Shesha. Servitude towards someone or something. We heard this description. There's two kinds, the Bhagavata and Bhagavat Sheshatvam. This is Sanskrit, but it's okay. You all have some understanding of Sanskrit. The Bhagavat, it comes from Bhagavan, and that's the servitude towards the topmost truth, Paratattvam. This is Sri Vaishnava language. He's the Lord, Bhagavan, or Paratattvam, the Tattva and Paratattva. Brahman and Parabrahman. So he's the topmost truth, Bhagavan. And there's the Sheshatvam, servitude towards him, and Bhagavata, the servant of one who is in relation to Bhagavan. Like the book Bhagavat, the book and the person Bhagavata. So Lakshmana had one and Shatrughna had the other. Shatrughna was happiest, just being the servant of one who's dear to the personality of Godhead. That's Shatrughna. But Paratantriyam was exhibited by Bharata. Paratantriyam means dependent on a higher authority. One was towards the person and that which is in relation to the person. So he was serving his shoes, his padukas, for 14 years. And he was happy. He was feeling separation, but his happiness, his contentment was serving that which is dear to Bhagavan. Shatrughna was the best. Shatrughna had the service to Bharata. So these four personalities are each exhibiting some feature of divinity towards the personality of Godhead with different features. They're not the same. They're brothers, but they're distinct. It's a little technical, but it's part of understanding that, embedded within Ramayana. So there's the storyline. Everyone can hear the storyline and recite the storyline. I mean, if you hear it enough times, it's easy to. It's very charming. What to speak of? The Sanskrit of Valmiki is so sweet. Just to hear it, it's so nice. And if you understand a little Sanskrit, it's nicer than nice. So there's the storyline. but it's also revealing tattva or truths through the storyline, through the message. And then there's relationships, and then there's the taste of those relationships. You know, there's the culture of how to honor if you're in this position, that position. What's the etiquette? What's the way in which you should conduct your life in this situation, that situation? The drama has it. You know, proper conduct. It's fantastic. And then rasa. Okay. Lakshmana as Sheshatvam means he has no interest separate from Lord Ram's interest. Very simply expressed. And there's examples. Here's some nice examples. He's the absolute carrier of Ram without questioning. And in addition to this Sheshatvam, he has friendship. Sakya, he is his brother. So it's a nice combination. It's a wonderful combination. Wonderful combination. Here's a nice example. Lakshman told Hanuman, when they first met, I am the younger brother, famous by the name Lakshmana, captivated by his qualities, I become his servant, for he is grateful and considers little acts to be service to be great. Sometimes Ramachandra expressed, and sometimes he didn't express, but Lakshmana knew because he was intimately associated. And he felt, this is the place of shelter for me. No other place of shelter. Thank you. No other place of shelter. When Lakshmana was speaking to his mother, Sumantra was returning after this visit to Chitrakoot. Sumantra gave a message to his parents. I do not consider that the emperor, Dasarath, as my father. For me, Rama's brother, lord, relative, and my father. He's my everything. He's my everything. Another nice example. Dependency upon the Supreme Lord. Lakshmana's response when Ram requested Lakshman to build a cottage in Panchavati. Yes? Build it so it's suitable for all three of us. And Lakshman took exception. I'm sorry. But I don't have any interest different than yours. I am but a dependent. As long as you are here, even if that be eternity, I will be submissive to you. Therefore, tell me a place that is delightful for you. And that's it. End of discussion. That's his fastidious. No, it's a nice teaching. Not everyone has the quality like Lakshmana has. And when there's that kind of close association, what happens? Familiarity breeds contempt. You've heard that one. And it's true. So if you have the occasion to be in close service to someone, close association, like husband, wife, children, parents, or friends and friends, or, in the temple, close association, don't become familiar. I mean, continue close association, but keep a little, it's not just like safe distance, it's respect. Because if respect drops, you start to see differently. I'm going to go a little bit, our contemporary thing. I've been listening to recorded dramatic readings of Shamasundar's book, his little biography about Srila Prabhupada, his life with Srila Prabhupada. He gave it a nice name. The name is funny. Chasing Rhinos with the Swami. Then in the course of the book, and there's another rhino in the bag. Prabhupada had very, very high, amazing things that he had a vision to do, and he did them. It's like Mission Impossible, nothing's impossible. Then he did them, and everyone was, wow, he did it. Anyway, two things. Shyamasundar had association for some time as his personal servant, and then he had as a secretary. A secretary, which means he did typing, and he was working with Srila Prabhupada on a philosophy book. That is, Shyamasundar had a background in college in English and in history, so he would do research on different philosophers and summarize their philosophy, and then Prabhupada would address this philosophy, that philosophy, something like 60 philosophers, and it became a book. So he had intimate association with Prabhupada in so many ways. But he also mentions periodically he would purposefully be a little, as much as he wanted to be with Prabhupada, he was a little cautious about familiarity. And one of the persons that was traveling with him was the servant. The servant's name was Aravinda. I mentioned this. Some of you heard, how I got my name and all that stuff. I was a new guy. I mean, a new brahmachari, and I saw this edge, this contempt, due to Aravinda's having close association with Prabhupada, and he saw little things and took exception to little things. Now, he didn't see the little things properly. He became familiar and became contemptuous, and he left. And when he left, I was surprised and not surprised. I was surprised because he was a good devotee, and I was not surprised because I saw this edge to him in his tone of voice in speaking to Prabhupada that was not nice. Like, what? And I don't know what was going on inside, but I had personal witness of that happening. So Lakshmana didn't make that mistake. He was completely pure, and because he was completely pure, he was able to be in intimate association and not have that difficulty. The familiarity breeds contempt situation was not a problem for him because Lakshman was Vishnu Tattva, completely pure, with a certain mood, with a certain rasa in regard to Lord Ramachandra. He was of the same tattva, but his mood was different. Nice. It's transcendentally nice. Here's a nice scene where there's Kaikeyi, and she's taken off her ornaments in protest, and there's Dasarath wailing over what Kaikeyi has just pronounced. There's Vishishta, who's appealing to her good sense, which she had lost somewhere. And there they are, getting ready to go off to the forest. Sitaram and Lakshman. And proceeding to the forest. Now, they don't have their tree bark and, other paraphernalia, but it's a nice B.G. Sharma painting. And everyone is feeling great separation. The whole of Ayodhya, the whole of Ayodhya is feeling separation. It's not going forward. There we go. There we go. I don't know what to do. This keeps turn off. There we go. Turn off all notifications. You can't see what's going on my screen, but there's something. It's in a cycle. It won't stop. Okay. So they, the citizens of Ayodhya, are watching the chariot depart, and they're feeling feelings of sorrow. We discussed this. Remember this? When the author was shot an arrow and killed the hunter shot an arrow and killed the crancha bird or crane, and these words were spoken, cursing the crane, or cursing the fowler with great sadness. And then we heard this description. He, the author of Valmiki, was very shocked. Where did that emotion come from? Those words carrying that emotion, where did it come from? Because he's above. Nashoshati nakangsati samaksarveshu bhuteshu. He's not influenced by the modes of nature. So where did it come from? And it's the mode of, it pervades the entire Ramayana. Those of you that weren't with us for that first evening, Mangala Charna verse, spoken by Valmiki, and Lord Brahma said, it was I that gave that mood through the goddess Saraswati for you to speak that way. Because this is the mood of the entire Ramayana, which I want you to compose, and so forth. So this is the scene. It's a very simple painting, where the citizens are feeling great separation from the personality of Godhead. And there they go, off into the forest. Now, there's a very nice discussion about Lakshman's conversation with Guha during their first night by the river. We didn't discuss this, did we? No. So Guha is he's a forest personality, a forest dwelling person. He's the king or leader in that forest tribal group, but he's a forest man. So he's not, a sophisticated, cultured person, but he is. So he understands that he's the host, and who Ramachandra is. He worships Ramachandra, etc., 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 etc. He does all of those nice things. But they come to the edge of a river, and now the Guha is going to take them across the river the next morning. So there's Sita and Ram taking rest. Of course, it's pastime. They're taking rest. And Lakshmana is going to stay up all night and guard them. And Guha says, you don't need to do this because, we have our guards, and you have service to do tomorrow, and you're accustomed to royal life and comforts, and you're just sleeping on the ground, and so is there something I can get for you? So Lakshman just launches into this very eloquent, beautiful description of how his feelings of love for Ramachandra and the misfortune, the sorrow, the misfortune that he's having to endure. Just see, there he is, lying, resting with Sita on the floor. And he's the one that's accustomed to, and he's most deserving because he looks up to him and speaks verse after verse after verse after verse of the hardship and misfortune. And how can I rest seeing Ramachandra lying like this on the sand by the shore of the sea, by the shore of the river. And hearing his love, Guha starts to cry. And then the rest of the all night long, they're singing the glories of Ramachandra. The first time Guha has met, but just to be with Ramachandra, and he accepts him as the personality of Godhead, and here's his dear servant. They spent the whole night just discussing these topics together. So here's Guha, the one with the crown, and he's inviting Ram, Sita, and Lakshman to get on the boat. Now, there's a devotee that I know in Detroit. He liked this scene so much, he made a little painting. This is a Hare Krishna devotee painting, where he, the boatman, lets Ram and Lakshman get on the boat, but he doesn't let, he lets Sita and Lakshman get on the boat, but doesn't let Ram get on the boat. He said, no, you don't put your feet on this boat. I heard about you. You put your foot on a rock, and a lady came out of the rock. And I'm already married, and I'm a boatman. I can't take care of two wives. Thank you. You can't get on the boat. And there's some others watching all this happening, and so Ram smiles, and he makes an arrangement that Lakshman can come and wash his feet, and he washes his feet. So now he can get on the boat, and the boat limit gets him get on the boat, and they cross the river. And in all circumstances, Lakshmana had one purpose, with his mind, his words, his body, everything, serving the personality of Godhead. This is where that cover painting comes from. There he is. There, Lakshmana, Sita is massaging Ram's legs, having, walked for so many miles. But she also. But that's her mood, and that's Lakshman's mood. While Sita is serving Ram, Lakshmana is serving Ram this way. And if he's up all night, where does he take rest? So apparently he didn't take much rest. He was always in the mood of serving. And he would gather edibles in the forest. This is a little painting showing he's got, this and that, forest roots and berries, and cooking and doing what he can do to take care of the needs of Ram and Sita. Another nice painting showing the berries that he had gathered. And, he's feeling sorry for Bharata. That Bharata has, I am with Ramachandra all the time, and Bharata is back in Ayodhya, and he's not having Ram's association. What a great misfortune. But they're enjoying the beauty of the scene in the forest, Aranyakanda. And so the painting is a beautiful painting, but there's many, many scenes depicting the beauty of the forest life. There's Lakshman carrying a big clay pot, which looks heavy. This service, that service, the other service, while Ram and Sita, their needs are taken care of. Whoops, sorry about that. So there's a description of, as they're traveling, this is a nice B.G. Sharma painting, as they're traveling, the three just happen to come across the ashram of Bhardraj Muni. And they reveal to Bhardraj Muni the difficulty that happened back in Ayodhya and Kaikeyi, this and that. And they ask him, Bhardraj, where would be a good place for us to stay, rather than just wandering and wandering and wandering in the forest. And he suggests Chitrakoot. And so they're heading for Chitrakoot. There's a little intervention where they also come across, en route to Chitrakoot, the ashram of Valmiki. Now, in Valmiki, where did he stay? Valmiki, way up in the Himalayas. So somehow he apparently he had another ashram as well, because he's on his way to Chitrakoot. And there they are. And same Lakshman is being asked by Ramachandra to build a cottage. There's Lakshman way in the back on the left. And same idea, build one that's suited for us three. And he says the same thing. No, no, no. Whatever it is that you want, that's what we want. That's what I will do. This is our final slide, because we have limited time this evening because of the China class. Ramanujacharya's appearance. Sita is sending a message back to Ramachandra about his decision to send her to the forest. Ram doesn't say it to her directly. He sends Lakshman to inform her. And she wants Lakshman to carry the message back to Ramachandra. Doesn't he know that I'm pregnant? He certainly must have noticed. And here's Lakshman's reply. O auspicious one, O faultless one, your body is not seen by me, as your feet alone were the object of my vision till now. How shall I behold you separated from Ram, dwelling in the forest? So he's not looking at her face, not looking at her pregnancy, he's just only looking at her feet. I've only seen your feet, because that's his mood in respect and deference to the consort of his beloved Lord Ramachandra. Lakshmana is a very special character, and 100% consistent. It's not. So, how are we to relate to a person like that? That's not us, but it's the ideal character of one who is fully devoted to the personality of Godhead, or to, in this case, to Ramachandra, his brother. He fully dedicated, nothing else but. I'm pausing, I'm just meditating on how painful was that moment when Ram went to find the deer and told Lakshman, you stay here and protect Sita. And then when Lakshman doesn't go, Sita starts insulting him and insulting him and insulting him and insulting him and threatening to enter into fire. What a difficult situation. So he violated the word of Ram. Impossible. How can he violate the word of Ram? It's a Leela. Impossible Leela. Who knows what kind of emotion he felt? Because there's nothing else for him but Ram, 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 Ram. Just like Hanuman. And there's, of course, there's teachings about whatever you do, don't mess with Lakshman. And Lakshman representing the guru, the Adi Guru. We saw this at the very beginning. He just like Hanuman acts as guru on behalf of, but Lakshman acts as guru on behalf of, because he gives Ram. That's what gurus do. They give the personality of Godhead to the recipients. That was because of Ramanujacharya's appearance day and time and circumstance. There was one question in the Chinese audience. They're good listeners. So during the time of Ramanujacharya, there was a lot of opposition. There was a king that was a tyrant and a fanatical worshiper of Lord Shiva, and he poked out the eyes and killed those that wouldn't surrender to his point of view, and the disposition of followers of Shankaracharya was so prominent during his time. There was a lot of, it wasn't a piece of cake. It was very difficult. So the question came, how is it possible for him to do what he did in such a short time? He was empowered. He was empowered, carrying Ananta Shakti, according to the Acharyas, that the Shakti of Lord Ananta. Otherwise, how is it possible? Not possible. And here's Lakshmana, who was a Vishnu Tattva person, completely dedicated. So, you offend such persons, you've got a problem. Sita had a big problem as a result. So, don't offend Vaishnavas. We need the association of Vaishnavas to make spiritual advancement. We need to not make offenses against Vaishnavas. It's kind of like do and don't at the same time. So take association properly, that is, be respectful. Even in difficult circumstances, be respectful. And never be disrespectful. Even if X, Y, Z. Someone's having a hard time, so acknowledge they're having a hard time, but don't be disrespectful. This is a Vaishnava etiquette principle. Always maintain respect. I'm going to end because of time. 8:30. I've been going, I've been speaking a bunch. And it's time to end. So let's see if there's some discussion. Comments or questions or any thoughts you'd like to share, reflections. Yeah. We have a little portable microphone, right?
Yeah. Hare Krishna Maharaj. So, Lakshmana exhibits.
I'm listening. I'm trying. Lakshmana exhibits.
Two qualities that are very difficult to balance.
Yeah.
Like he exhibits the mood, or like like angry, like he kind of shows anger. Like many instances, for example, like when Lord Rama, he broke the Shiva, like the bow of Shiva, Lord Shiva, and then Parshuram came, and then Lakshmana got really, really angry. And generally kind of like shows anger.
Well, okay, but what kind of anger is that? Isn't that not worldly? We'll say it to, is there such a thing as transcendental anger? Okay. Now, mostly we don't see transcendental anger. We see the other kind. But it doesn't mean there isn't. Arjuna. Right? How can you have a battle without anger? And Krishna was inciting him to anger, but transcendental kind, not the other kind. No, you say balance and I say no balance. I say transcendence. Transcendence isn't balance. Transcendence is one thing. And there's diversity in that one thing, but it's one thing.
I was thinking about the balance between the mood of servitude and
Non-stop. No balance. Different moods of service depending upon circumstance, that's fine. But it's just like this example of respect. Don't depart from respect. Don't depart from service. No, one service may require this, and another service, different service will require that, but don't depart from the mood of service. Because the medium through which the absolute truth can be understood is through the medium of service to the absolute truth. And otherwise, one isn't going to understand. We'll have a wrong conception. It's quite simple. It's quite simple. What do you think? Simple or difficult?
Simple for him.
Simple. Simple. There's in the second canto, chapter 2. No, second canto, chapter 3. Second canto, chapter 3 is Pure Devotional Service, Change of Heart. Title of the chapter. In that chapter, Prabhupada describes that in the earlier stages of bhakti, or something that can lead to bhakti or assist attaining bhakti, is a mood of service. Persons that have a service mood, that's a good head start. It doesn't equal bhakti, but it's a head start because they just like to serve, 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 like to serve. And then just direct that service towards the right object. Krishna. Krishna should be pleased. Okay. And tell me what's going to please Krishna. That's it. That's it. And there's a happiness in service. And there's a transcendental happiness or joy or ananda in serving the Supreme Ananda, the Paramananda. And that's bhakti. So service is a subset. But disconnect that service from Bhagavan, and it's just another material emotion. And easily can lead to frustration and anger. Okay. Thank you. I see a hand in the back.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
I vote.
Hare Bol. Thank you for
Back there.
wonderful class once again. So my question is, you mentioned there are two Sheshatvams.
Yeah.
One is Bhagavat, the second one is Bhagavat.
Yeah.
So Bhagavat is example Lakshmana and Bhagavat is Shatrughna. So both they
Let's go back again.
okay.
Oh, fully. Lakshmana Bhagavat.
Bhagavat, yes, direct to the Ram. And Bhagavat,
Bhagavata Shatrughna. You're right.
yeah. So
Okay.
my question is, both. So one is serving directly Lord, one is serving devotee.
Hmm.
So will they both attain same, or it's a different, or if you serve Bhagavata, then you will elevate it to Bhagavat, or directly you get both get the same result.
What do you think?
What I thought is both are object is Ram only.
Yeah.
One is direct, one is indirect.
That's right. It's like the book Bhagavad and the person Bhagavad. Same. Same. The answer is there.
Okay, Maharaj.
The person lives the Bhagavad and they speak the Bhagavad. That's the Bhagavata. There's the book and the person, and there's the person who they're representing. The representative is not the person, but they're representing the person. The transparent representative is as good as. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj.
There's distinction, but there's oneness at the same time. Oneness and difference at the same time. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Only, oh, you.
I have just a question because I'm curious. In one of the first slides, it says that Rama is an incarnation of Vishnu. Lakshmana is an incarnation of Sesha. Bharata is incarnation of Chakra and Shatrughna is Shankha. What about the other two, Gada and Padma?
Gada? There's no personality representing them in the chapter in these four brothers.
Okay.
I thought the same question, but there's only four brothers, not six.
Maybe the next.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Lakshmana Maharaj, there is
Online.
the online question.
I think we're going to end with the online because of time.
All right. Guru Maharaj, when Sita was expressed her displeasure regarding Lakshmana, was it the false Sita?
When Sita was doing what?
When Sita expressed displeasure regarding Lakshmana.
Well, how he not exactly, but Lakshmana was conveying a message from Ram. He's just a message carrier. He's the instrument of his master. And Sita wasn't exactly criticizing him, just like, how can this instruction be given? Lakshmana must have seen that she was pregnant, and he didn't see that she was pregnant because he only was looking at her feet. So now, what's the question? Do you understand the question?
Yes, Maharaj. Was that the false Sita? Today morning you mentioned about.
Oh, the false Sita question.
Yes.
Well, it depends on what school you belong to, whether it was the false Sita or not. But you read that document that some say yes and some say no. But it's not, because she had already been returned. She is already back in Ayodhya. It's not the false Sita anymore.
Right.
It's the real Sita.
Harifol.
Does anyone not understand the question? You don't understand? Okay, good. You're up to speed. So we'll call it a day. Thank you all for coming. Thank our host for hosting. And we'll probably have a little prasadam or something like that. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.